Playoff baseball is finally upon us. So in this video, I'm going to look back at my preseason predictions, tell you how they worked out, and then make my predictions for the present and future of this playoff race. So in the comments, let me know if your favorite team made it, who you're rooting for, and who do you think is going to win. Also, in future videos, I'm going to diagnose and break down what I think happened to certain teams. So if there's a team you want to hear about specifically, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to accommodate you with a video of what happened to that team for the regular season. So my preseason predictions were actually pretty solid, 4 for 6 in the AL and the NL, but I was dead wrong. I had the Angels making it and I had the Astros missing it, which is horrible. And spoiler alert, the Astros are probably going to be representing the AL in the World Series this year, so that's a terrible misfire by me. In the National League, I had the Brewers in and I had the Giants in. I had the Phillies and Padres as both just missing, so flip those two around, we would have been 6 for 6. And I will say with a caveat here, the Brewers trade of Josh Hader made no sense at the deadline, and even though he flamed out in San Diego, it still makes no sense to me, and I 100% think the Brewers would have held on to the division had they not made that trade. So we were that close, just a GM not being a complete moron away from being 5 for 6 in the NL. But hey, I'm just a 30-year-old trying to figure out how to groom a beard for the first time in the winter, so my predictions mean absolutely nothing. Let's get into what I think is going to happen for the playoffs. I think the Mets beat the Padres in 2 or 3 games. I think that every game is going to be low scoring. I think that both fan bases are going to be on edge the entire time. There will not be a single pitch thrown that is comfortable for either fan base watching these games. It's going to be a good series. I think the Mets are going to win, though. In the Cardinals and Phillies series, I got the Cardinals sweeping. I think the Cardinals just play too good at defense, especially in the outfield. The Phillies' weakness is their outfield defense. St. Louis has a big outfield. The ball doesn't really leave the park there. The Phillies usually need to hit home runs to score runs. The Cardinals got good pitching. It's a nightmare matchup for the Phillies. Over the American League, we got the Guardians and the Rays. For the sake of the next round, I hope that the Guardians win this series just because I do not want to see a single game played in Tropicana. That field is pathetic. That field is dog shit. It shouldn't exist. Tampa should have to move their franchise solely on the fact that they have not seriously tried to get into a new stadium since being in the Trop. That place is a dumpster fire. It should not be a field in Major League Baseball. It's worse than Oakland. And it also happens to go in line with the fact that I think the Guardians are going to win because they're very similar teams, but the Guardians make more contact, and the Rays haven't been the same level of fielding they've been in the past, so give me Cleveland that series. In the last series, we got the Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Seattle Mariners. I'm going to take the Blue Jays here, but to me, this is the most intriguing series for 2 reasons. 1, the Mariners are probably going to score 3 runs a game. So if the Mariners pitching shows up and shuts down the Blue Jays bats, they're going to win the series. And 2, probably more importantly, Robbie Ray had his miracle Cy Young year last year with the Blue Jays, signed the deal with the Mariners this year. Ironically, I think he's the linchpin. I think he is going to be the start that makes or break the series for the Mariner. So it'll be really interesting to see him pitching in that environment after having not so stellar of a year, because right in front of you, you're going to have everyone have an immediate verdict. Did the Jays make the right decision in letting him go, or should they have kept him? I think the Blue Jays are going to win, though, because I think that they made the right decision letting Robbie Ray go. So that gets us to the next round of the playoffs, which we have the 4 favorites at that point, all off of a week rest versus the 4 wildcard winners. In this matchup, it would be Mets-Dodgers. It's as simple as this. If Scherzer and DeGrom make 3 starts against the Dodgers, the Mets are going to win that series. If Scherzer and DeGrom make 2 starts or less against the Dodgers are going to win that series. The rest is going to have probably a non-impact effect on the Dodgers. It's going to help their pitching staff. It might hurt their bats a little bit. They're going to be facing great pitching no matter what, so you're really not going to have a good judgment on that. And the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. Braves versus Cardinals. This is the series that I think the rest is going to affect the hardest. The Braves were clicking on all cylinders. Their offense has been stupid since June. This break is twice the length of the All-Star break. It's going to completely throw teams off their rhythm. They have pretty good starting pitching. They have great middle relief. They have an excellent lineup. The Cards play in a park where the ball does not fly, especially in October. If the Braves are rusty, which I think they will be offensively, the first game or 2 of this series, the Cardinals are going to steal one in Atlanta, and I think that the Cardinals are going to win both games at home, but this could easily be a 5-game series. The NL series are definitely the 2 best division series, and honestly, the NLDS might be the best round of the playoffs. Over in the American League, we got what is hopefully going to be the Yankees and Cleveland. It's a matchup nightmare for them. I think the Yankees are going to kill them in that series. The Yankees have just looked like a completely better team. They look in a completely different class than Cleveland the 2 times they matched up this year. I think it happens the 3rd time. I think the Yankees win. Astros and the winner of the Blue Jays and the Mariners. 2 completely different outlooks for the Astros here. They're either going to have to deal with a great offense or they're going to have to deal with a great pitching staff. I think the Astros are going to win that series no matter what, though. They are the team that will be helped the most by the rest. They are starting pitching heavy, and their lineup just grinds out at bats. That's the best formula for having the week off. And ironically, Dusty Baker is the only coach that is openly really concerned with the rest. I think Astros win that series. Astros, Yankees, Astros home field advantage. We've seen this play out 2 or 3 times. I think the Yankees had an inflated record this year. I think the Astros are the best organization in baseball. I think the Astros win that series in 5 or 6. The Yankees back into the bullpen is just not strong enough to keep them in the series like the prior couple of matchups have happened over the last 5 years. So Astros dominated. NLCS. It's a rematch from the wild card last year. Dodgers significantly better across the board than the Cardinals. I think the Dodgers win the series in 5. We get a Dodgers-Astros championship. It's a rematch that a lot of people on the West Coast want to see. Overall, I don't think baseball fans really give too much of a shit about it, to be completely honest. I don't know how much of the East Coast would turn out for this. I don't think anyone wants to see either of these teams win again outside of their own fan bases. I think that this year is just the Dodgers' year. They're just so damn good. These are the 2 most complete teams in baseball. I think the Dodgers win this series. As long as they don't throw Craig Kimbrell in a big spot in the playoffs, I don't see them losing a 7-game series. So the Dodgers are likely to be the World Series champion. But again, in the comments, let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know what you think about my predictions, and let me know what your predictions are. I really want to hear it. I'll also be doing a breakdown of every single win and loss for every team every day here on the channel. So if you enjoyed this video and you like hearing that kind of stuff, make sure you like the video and make sure you sub to the channel so you can see them.